Hello guys, and welcome back once again to K-Tapes. This week I have again some new releases. It feels weird to say new releases because there are no more new releases, but by that of course I mean the late releases, should I say. So I got a bunch of late releases. Most of them, by the way, are already sold, so they're aside for some collectors. Although, like, there's a couple of them which I just got yesterday, and I started cleaning them all up. And I actually need to hurry up because some of them need to go to the post office this afternoon. So I'm a bit in a hurry making this video, but I really wanted to make it because it's important, because I do have some rarities in there which I don't really know when I'm gonna find them again. So let's start off with Hannibal Rising. Hannibal Rising, which came out, I believe, 2007. So this is a 2007 release. It's not in the zone like, of course, late 2010, which is usually what I would say maybe collectors of like really rare late Korean tapes would go for, but nonetheless, it's something that never came out in North America. So for that alone, it's really cool, and that's a beautiful copy, by the way. And of course, a cult series. Everyone loves Hannibal and the Silence of the Lambs. So here you go. Next one I have Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye, that was with Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, weird name. I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but in French is LaBeouf, which means the beef, but LaBeouf, whatever. So that guy from Transformers, and another actress, I forgot who that is. And this is another late release. This one is 2009, so that's January 2009. It's not like super late, but it's anything like 2009 starts to be, of course, fairly in demand usually, and quite late in the release cycle for like Korean tapes. So there you go, Eagle Eye. Next one I have, that's something I've probably showed you before, but why not again, because it's everyone's favorite hero, or at least one of my favorite hero when I was a kid. Of course, Indiana Jones, and this is a rather forgetful entry in the series, which is Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Saw that in theater when it came out. Wasn't too good, like really questionable CGI at some point, but hey, the series is nonetheless really fun to watch. Great character and everything. And this tape is late 2008, so this is October 2008. The spine is a bit faded, but I mean, this is quite hard to find now. So I mean, not that hard, but it's getting harder to find. That's what I mean. Okay, next we do have a 2010 release, and this is Clash of the Titans. Once again, not a great movie. I mean, the original one was really fun. I mean, for me, because I'm old now, but the I believe it was 1981 original film was like, had quite an impact on me, because I found like all the stop motion and everything was so cool. This is of course CGI. It's a CGI age. So yeah, this is let me check. Yeah, it's like August 2010 release. So yeah, it's really near the end, because as we all know, the last big blockbuster movie that came out on Korean tapes was late December 2010. So that's near the end. Okay, next is a very good film, and actually a very rare tape. It's the movie called Blindness. If you haven't seen this, I urge you to have a look at it. It's a great film. Also, it has what's the actor's name? It's a Spanish actor in there. No, I think he's Mexican to be fair. Yeah, it's a popular Mexican actor at the time, and of course, oh my God, I'm so forgetful these days. But this actress, she was in Boogie Nights, great actress. Nowadays we don't see her quite often, but Anyway, Blindness was really good, great film, and the reason I'm saying this tape is rare, not only because, yeah, it's a late release, that's 2000, it's early 2009, so that's February 2009, but because the company, this little label here, haven't seen anything else from this label. So I don't know, maybe they pulled this like a one-off with this title, I don't know, but quite rare film, and of course rare release. Yeah, so there you have it. Another one I have here, I picked up 2 copies because why not? It's X-Men Origins Wolverine. I do have 2 copies. They're both like beautiful, near mint. And this, well, no, this one has like a bit of, like, this is the plastic, by the way, I'm sorry, like you cannot really, maybe you can see it with the reflection, it's the plastic. The sleeve underneath, like, got some little folds here and there, but it's not too bad because it's not on the front, and the spine is just gorgeous. The other copy is better. Let me put this aside. So this is late 2009 release, so we have October 2009. And of course, if you're a fan of all the Marvel Comics, superheroes, I think this is a must for any collection, because I don't think there's any other VHS copies of this that's been released anywhere in the world. I could be wrong, but I do not think there is. And again, this one is in gorgeous condition. So yeah, X-Men, Wolverine. Okay, let's move on to this time I have a 2010 release. So that's mid-2000, this is exactly June 2010. So this is really late in the VHS cycle, South Korea. The Wolfman, which I've never seen. I think I should download this one and just have a look. Apparently it's not that bad. I mean, it's not a great film, but apparently it's a great werewolf film. But it's not a great movie, if this makes any sense. But if you're a fan of werewolf films, I think this apparently is one to watch. So I think I'll give it a try. So once again, yeah, the box is a bit beat up, but the sleeve underneath is pretty clean. So yeah, this is a great pickup. Wolfman, 2010, June. One of the, I should say, the last tapes released in South Korea. Okay, next we have something that you guys may think, okay, what is this Korean film? I would say you're half right, you're half wrong, because yeah, the actress right there is Korean, although the film is not. The film's an American production with, I think, a French director. The film wasn't too good, to be fair. It had a gorgeous poster, you can look it up online. The visual was, I mean, the cinematography was great. The special effects were abysmal, and it's an adaptation of a Japanese animation that was actually pretty good, called Blood, the Last Vampire, and the movie is also called Blood, the Last Vampire, if you haven't noticed. So there you go, beautiful copy, and this came out late 2009, so September 2009, again at the end of the line. Great pickup. Okay, next we have a movie I've seen like a couple years ago. I don't remember much about it, although I think it was quite fun. It's 30 Days of Night, with some good actors in there, and yeah, 30 Days of Night, that's 2000, well, the movie is 2007, but if I look it up right here, the video release was early 2008, March 2008 to be precise. Once again, very beautiful copy, I think. Yeah, it looks great. So 30 Days of Night. Oh, and by the way, I don't show you the cassettes because it's just annoying to have my 2 hands free, but all the cassettes, of course, are in top shape. I think I only had one that I had to remove a tiny bit of mold, but everything else came out, thankfully, in good shape. The next one is nothing like late release that much. I mean, this one is 2004, late 2004, but I didn't have any more copies in stock. And I do like to keep some Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th tapes in stock, at least like a copy as a backup, because there's always someone asking me for those. Although not these days. But this one, it's been a while since I picked up a copy in the wild or anywhere else. So when I saw this one, the price was right, I just grabbed it. So Freddy vs. Jason, voila. Okay, next, here I'm gonna dive into some tapes that, I mean, some of the first ones were all for someone. The next one is actually free to be picked up, is Quantum of Solace. I already had another copy, I think, aside, which, yeah, it was for someone. This one is for sale. Sadly, again, it has some sun fade on the spine, so to find like an unfaded copy of this, I mean, it's kind of like a chance out of 4 these days. I don't know, 1 out of 4. I did find one a few weeks ago, and it will say like, okay, this tape is not that rare. It's not like crazy rare, but it's getting rare. Like I was at some point, I think for like 2 years, I was looking for one. I couldn't find one, and then in the past months, I found 3. So, you know, that's how it is. So anyway, Quantum of Solace, early 2009 release. Terrible film. Cool cover though. I mean, it's a great grab if you don't have it. If you're a Bond collector, that's kind of a must. And if you're a tape collector, well, I guess it will also be a must. So Quantum of Solace. Okay, next we have a great actor who is pretty popular these days for the wrong reasons. Will Smith. I Am Legend. This film, I saw it in the theater back then. It was fine, nothing mind-blowing, but I think I was expecting more. Also, people, I think, these days were expecting for perhaps a sequel, which I don't think will ever come out because of what we know. And anyway, this copy is gorgeous, no sun fade on the spine, beautiful, and this is 2008. Once again, first quarter of 2008. I Am Legend on Korean VHS. Okay, next I have 2 tapes that are aside for someone that already bought those. So we have Night and Day. I showed you that one before. Again, I don't know what to say about it. I've never seen it. I think I've just seen a couple scenes. It didn't really interest me as a film, but maybe if you're a Tom Cruise fan, just action fan, whatever, it could be your cup of tea. This is late 2010. It's actually, yeah, it looks like December 2010. So it's at the end of the line. So I guess only for that alone, it's worth picking up if the movie doesn't interest you or anything, just for the fact that it's one of the very last American blockbuster to be released on Korean tape. And this copy is pretty good. I would say it has like maybe a 5% sun fade on the spine, but I mean, I won't be picky with those like super late rare releases, to be honest. Speaking of late releases, this next one is November, is late November 2010, and many people told me they never knew this existed on Korean tape or on tape anywhere. It's the Expendables. Again, gorgeous tape, beautiful cover. This one is pristine, it's in top shape, no sun fade whatsoever. It's even the clamshell is all like glossy and gorgeous. So the Expendables, I've heard there's like a 4th or 5th movie coming out. I think it's a 4th movie coming out. So I mean, right on time, right? But sadly, this one is already sold. But I'm sure if I do find another copy, I will let you know. I will pick it up. Okay, next is another tape. I have 2 copies of, one of which is already sold. I found another one is Alien vs. Predator 2, which was a terrible film. That's mid 2008. I can't remember anything except the beginning of the film, which was kind of promising, and after that it was just too dark to figure out what the hell was going on in this film. So yeah. Anyway, so this tape, I guess if you're an Alien, a Predator fan, again, this is a must for such a collection. Otherwise, if you're a tape fan, it's not like super late in the tape VHS late cycle, but still it's out there. I mean, it's mid 2008. Alien vs. Predator. Okay, next is a very gloomy, should I say gloomy film with like kind of like a weird ending. I kind of liked it when I watched. I don't remember much about it, but I remember it was kind of really dark. It's Knowing with Nicolas Cage. Great Nicolas Cage. Once again, this copy is beautiful. No sun fade on the spine. Gorgeous artwork. It's kind of cool. This is July 2009. So quite late as well. And it's by the director Alex Proyas. I believe he's Australian. Anyway, he's the guy who made The Crow. It's one of his most famous work. After that, he made I Am Robot. I can't remember what else, but this was one of his later films. It was, yeah, I don't think he made anything significant after that. I think it was like Gods and something about like Egyptian gods. I think that was in 2015, and after that there wasn't anything he did. But anyway, Knowing, VHS release in South Korea. Okay, next is another movie that is Aside for Someone. It was a special request. It's Final Destination 4. So in South Korea they released 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think they released 5 because that would be like 2011, I think. So that's a no. So yeah, this one, that's a 2010 release. My God, that's February 2010. So yeah, once again, another quite late release and getting hard to find. The other ones can be found. I've seen them a couple times. Part 1 and 2. Part 3, more or less, but part 4 is quite hard to find. Okay, now I do have 2 Korean films I decided to pick up because they are 2009, 2010 releases. This one is late 2009 and it's a horror film. So anything horror for me, I always pick them up because that's what my customers want. So this one is I forgot the title, was it like a killer wild boar, like a big pig, wild pig. Pretty similar to kind of Razorback, that Australian film, but this is a Korean film, and it's also like a comedy at the same time. That's the thing with Korean movies. They cannot stick to one genre. They have to mix up like a whole bunch of genres within one main genre, which sometimes is a bit of a throw-off for me. Again, that's for me. So this one was like comedy horror. Well, yeah, you see with the photos, right? They're all like, oh. So yeah, comedy horror. Late 2009, so I think it's like November 2009. The next one, another Korean film. Yeah, this one I think is very late 2010. It's actually August 2010. It's called Bestseller. Well, you have the English name right there. I didn't see this film. I think it's more like a thriller more than horror, but anyway, goes down in the same genre, so to speak. So it's bloody and you have a killer and whatnot. So yeah, I don't remember anything about this film. I didn't see it, although I think it's probably got like good reviews. So anyway, I decided to pick it up because it's a late 2010 release. So anything South Korean movies, local productions that actually are 2010 and they're like horror, I picked them up. Okay, what do we have next? So now everything else I'm going to show you, they're all aside for one person. So yeah, none of those are for sale, although I can perhaps find them again. I don't know, but I'm guessing that some of them can reappear in the wild for sure at some point. So anyway, the first one we have is G.I. Joe, the first movie. That came out 2009, I believe. Yes, late. The release is late 2009. It's November 2009. Again, it's not like perfectly unfaded. It does have like a bit of sun fade on the spine, but it's a gorgeous copy. And thankfully, because I was in a store to pick those up, I was able to swap some of the clamshells because this one came in a kind of a beat up clamshell, so I changed the whole thing, the whole package for the person who is buying this. Same goes for all the other tapes I'm going to show you after this one. Okay, the next one is again our favorite actor Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happyness. That's what, 2007? 2007. Yeah, I've never seen this film, by the way, so there's nothing I can tell you about it, but if you know, well, this is it. Pursuit of Happyness with Will Smith, 2007. Next one is another comedy with a bunch of has-been. We have John Travolta, we have William H. Macy, and I forgot. Anyway, yeah, I'm not into those films, as you can see, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of remember who's what. I know who's who, but I forgot the names. Anyway, well, they're all written behind. Haha. In English, William H. Macy, Martin Lawrence, there you go, and Tim Allen. Oh, yeah. So old school actors. So this one is called Wild Hogs, and it is 2000, yeah, late 2007, mid 2007. So, yeah. Okay, next one. This series was, I think it was somehow successful when it came out, and then it kind of died out. It's The Mummy, The Mummy Part 3 with Jet Li. And yeah, whatever happened to this poor actor who's kind of nowhere right now, sadly, but he had a good career back then, especially up to this film, I think. And he had like a special appearance in G.I. Joe, I think. I forgot the names again. I'm terrible. The worst thing is I checked a video about this guy yesterday. Brendan Fraser. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, Mummy Part 3. There you go. Okay, next, another sequel of a film. This time we go into Walt Disney, and with no one else than Nicolas Cage with what is this film again? National Treasure 2. And this was late 2008. Great copy, by the way. I like the cover. It's very bright, it's red. I mean, it's kind of catching your attention on the shelf, I would guess. Okay, next, something else that is really not my cup of tea, but this was a special request, the movie Click with Adam Sandler's. I hate Adam Sandler's, but yeah, movie with Adam Sandler's, comedy, I guess. I mean, it's Adam Sandler, so it's got to be a comedy. I think he did like just a handful of dramas and serious films. Some of them, I think there was one of them that was quite good. The Paul Thomas Anderson film, forgot what it was. My God, I'm so forgetful today. So the movie Click on Korean VHS, and this is 2006, but the VHS is 2007. Okay, next we have a kids film called Monster House. Monster House. I don't know what it is. This is not my generation. I'm sorry. I just remember seeing the poster somewhere. I never had the intention to watch that whatsoever, but this was a special request. And once again, this is a very late 2006 release, actually. It says December 2006. And oh, by the way, what's up with those kids films in South Korea? As I said before, with Korean tapes, they're usually subtitled, all right? But the only exception would be the kids' films, such as this one. This one happens to be subtitled. But by the way, it says dubbed on the side, but the tape inside is the subtitled version. So yeah, and usually the subtitled version are quite harder to find, I would say. I don't know the ratio, but it's obvious, right? Because I mean, Korean kids will not really like to watch movies with subtitles. I mean, maybe adults would, but the kids, they want dubs, right? They don't care about subtitles. Myself included, when I was a kid, I would watch something dubbed, never sub. Now, of course, it's the other way around, but so that's the logic behind it, and that's why the kids' movies are mainly dubbed. But you can find some that are subtitled, but they're much harder to find. Okay, speaking of kids, and something that is quite into the actuality these days, Mr. Johnny Depp, yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. This one is part 3. Part 1 and 2 are quite easy to find. Part 3 is not that hard, but it's getting harder, and this copy is pristine. I mean, it's totally unfaded, and anything that is 2 tapes, it's sometimes a headache in South Korea, because let's say you find 1 tape, but it's missing the second part, or you just have a part 2, you don't have a part 1. Or another scenario would be like, let's say I found those 2 tapes. I'm so happy, I open it up, 1 tape is totally moldy, the other one's fine. Anyway, you see what I mean. So it's kind of a headache. But to find both tapes in pristine condition is, it's like, wow. So that's why I picked it up, and also this was someone's request. So let me show you the back. And also the thing with those 2 tapes, those 2-parters, is they usually have the same cover. Only on the side they will say like part 1, part 2, like here, you can see. Otherwise, they put the same cover. But there are like a very few exceptions, such as Batman: The Dark Knight. This one has like the 2 parts, the 2 tapes. They both have a different artwork, which is so cool. And the same thing on the stickers on the cassettes. You can watch on one of my older videos, and I show you that because I used to have 1 copy in stock. So yeah, Pirate of the Caribbean. This is late 2006 release. It says 2007-11, so I guess the tape really came out like almost a year later. Okay. Oh, I need to move because I don't have any more space. All right, so next one we have Iron Man. Iron Man, so this is the Marvel comic universe, the MCU. So not many MCU movies were released in South Korea on tapes, but that's one of them. I think part 2 was also released. I'm not sure. I get kind of confused with all the MCU. There's so many movies now, so I don't remember what came out when. But yeah, this was 2008. That was October 2008, so quite late. All right, next we have a beautiful, gorgeous copy of V for Vendetta. Seen this film a couple years ago. I didn't really like it. It's an adaptation of a comic book. The same author that did the comic of Watchmen. Yeah, that's it, Watchmen. So, and Watchmen got a Korean VHS release. I should try to track it down, by the way. Anyway, this one is 2006, late 2006. Next. Well, no, it's not a movie that came out in 2012 because that wouldn't be possible, but it's rather a film that came out in 2010. And by that I mean February 2010. It's the movie 2012. Big blockbuster film, big special effects, big popcorn, whatnot. Saw that in a movie theater. It wasn't half bad. I mean, it's something you watch once, you're like, cool. But yeah. That's it, and yeah, it's a beautiful copy, by the way, like no sun fade whatsoever. Okay, next we have Ghost Rider again. So we have so many Nicolas Cage films today. I'm sorry about that. I mean, well, unless you're a big fan of Nicolas Cage, I think I am. So I won't be ashamed here. I'm just like Cage fan. So we have Ghost Rider, which is another Marvel Comics adaptation, although it's not part of the MCU per se, the universe, I think. But yeah, Ghost Rider, the movie. And this is, let me check, 2007. It's a bit dark, so I cannot really tell like the date exactly, but it's 2007. Great copy. Next we have a 2009 release on VHS is Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. Another beautiful copy, Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. Okay, again, another comedy which I'm not a big fan of because I'm not a comedy guy, is Yes Man with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, I think I've seen like some scenes of that film, which weren't too bad, by the way. It's just me being like fussy, and whenever I want to relax, I never watch a comedy. I'm just not a comedy guy. Nonetheless, I can find them funny. So this one is 2009, so another late release. So yes, it got like a cool cover, I must admit. I mean, again, I'm not into comedies, but this is kind of in-your-face cover art. Okay, I'm down to the 6 last tapes, and those 6 tapes are gonna go to the post office today, which is the reason why I have to wrap this video up quickly, because otherwise when I go to the post office late in the afternoon, there's way too many people and it's too annoying. So the first movie I'm going to show you here is Percy Jackson, Lighting Thief, and this is 2010. So this is July 2010. So this is really near the end. There's one thing about this tape though, it's in fairly good shape. I do believe there's, well, you can tell like the letters here are yellow and on the spine is not that yellow, although the blue remained blue. So yeah, there's definitely a bit of sun fade on the spine, sadly. And also you can tell here, you see it's been like kind of crushed. Let me just focus for you. You see this thing? Actually, I thought it was like burning or something. Not burning, but, well, yeah, burning, like because of heat, it would melt. But this is actually a mark from a strap, because what happens in South Korea is whenever they have like videotapes like these for sale, like let's say a video store would get rid of all these tapes, they will put them all like lined up and they would wrap them with a tie wrap, like a big plastic tie wrap. And sometimes, I don't know, I guess this one was at the very edge of the pile of the bundle, and it was strapped too hard and it just pressed on this part and it just made a mark, sadly. I told the person I could change the box with a nicer one, although those kind of like semi-white transparent clamshells, I cannot find that. I would really need to find another 2000 tape, which is already hard enough. So I could just change it with a generic transparent tape. So he said it was no problem. So and also it's better to keep the original one. I would say it's not too annoying, and it's not cracked anywhere or broken, so it's fine. And on a shelf anyway, you put it like this, you won't put it like that, right? So there you go. Okay, next, because this video is getting a bit long, we have 10,000 BC, another forgetful film. That came out, what, late 2008? Yeah, I mean, forgetful. I would rewatch it. Maybe it's been ages since I've seen this. The only thing that I think was good with this film is it tackles like a time where, you know, there's not many movies around that time. I mean, like 10,000 BC story taking place at this time. So only for that alone, I think it's kind of worth a watch at least one time. So yeah, there you go. And the beautiful copy, no sun fade, gorgeous. Okay, next. This one too, I've seen that in the movie theater. It was fine, although it's kind of headache-inducing camera work. You'll know what I mean when I'll show you the copy. It's the 2008, was 2007 I think, but came out 2008 on tape. It's Cloverfield. Yeah, this one's getting hard to find. It's a cool thing, you have like this foil like letters on the spine, which is really cool. I mean, it gives it like a little bit more like punch. I guess on the shelf you're like, ooh, I want to rent this. So yeah, Cloverfield, nice copy once again, cool artwork and everything, and this is 2008 release. Okay, 3 more to go. Now we have Yippee MF with Bruce Willis and Die Hard 4. This one, again, for the person who bought this, I was very fortunate because at the place that I found this tape, the person had, I mean, the store had 2 copies. One of them, the tape was moldy, but the sleeve was fine. And the other copy, well, you guess it, the sleeve was sun-faded, but the tape was fine. So anyway, I went back and I kind of, I mean, I had to dig everywhere because, I mean, that place is such, it's all over the place. I mean, all the tapes are so messy and piled up everywhere. So I had to find the other tape I found the previous time anyway. So I swapped the covers, and there you have a nice tape with a nice cover, an unfaded cover. So there you go. Oh, and by the way, this movie is 2007, so December 2007. Okay, I won't talk about this one again, but this is the other Quantum of Solace that was aside for the same person. Okay, quick addition. I totally forgot to show you this one. That was another one that is going to the post office right now. It's the Crazies, and this is, I mean, I love this tape. I actually wanted to keep it for myself. This one is a 2010 June 2010 release, another really late one. Beautiful cover. I mean, if you're a George Romero fan, I know it's not his movie, it's a remake, but it's such a cool one. Really beautiful cover. And another one, it's going to the mail right now, is Pan's Labyrinth. I remember when this one came out, I bought the DVD in South Korea. I was in South Korea at the time. This is 2006, actually it's early 2007 for the videotape release. Also have a cool like foil letters on the spine, gold foil. It's really nice, it's a beautiful cover and beautiful release. Okay, next, this is the last tape, is another comedy. I've seen the first one. I never cared about watching part 2 or part 3. It's Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Not to be confused with Chris Rock, right? So yeah, Chris Tucker. This one I found another copy. It was horrible on the spine. This one is gorgeous actually. It's maybe a tidbit sun-faded, you can tell with the yellow. It's not perfectly orangey yellow, it's more yellow. Otherwise, yeah, it's a nice copy. And again, the foil. What's up with the foil? Yeah, they want to sell those releases, right? They want them to shine on a shelf. And this is 2008. We're looking at a 2008 January. Chris Tucker and super Jackie Chan with Rush Hour 3. So there you go. So there you have it. Again, sorry, I would need to just move everything around, but I have like, yeah, all those tapes. They won't fit into my screen. I'm sorry. I'm just like showing you a bunch like right here. So yeah, of course, I do have like 2 more piles there. Everything I showed you. So today was a big display of just part of everything that came out between 2006 and 2010. Of course, by the way, 2010 is the year that had like the least releases as well. The other years had more tapes released in South Korea. So anyway, this is just a sample of many of the other titles that came out. I hope to be able to find more. By the way, Just to tell you, I have another video coming out. I guess I'll probably release that in a day or two. It depends if I have the time to make it. I'll probably have the time. It's more tapes that I bought, although those are like older movies and some are really rare, and I was like stunned to find those stuff. I was like, oh my god, so happy. Anyway, I'm gonna show you that later. I just wanted to make one video only displaying those late release. I didn't want to mix up like the old stuff with the new stuff, just the old stuff. Enough was this, like, as you can see, this video is, damn, is 40 minutes long. Anyway, enough is enough. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you all the goodies next video, and I'm sure some of you will be like, oh my god, how did he find this stuff? So yeah, all this stuff also comes from another source. That's why I was able to find so many great things, because all my regular sources, they cannot find this stuff anymore. So anyway, that's it. Today was this big display of late releases. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment. I always enjoy watching, reading your comments, replying to some of your questions. And yes, if you can subscribe, that would be the best. All right, guys, thank you, and see you next time.